So let me bring you through kind of a series of vignettes. My experience at LPL, I think you've been doing different exercises, and so I'm going to share with you just what's been working, what hasn't been working. When I started at LPL, one of the first places firms have applied AI is in the service part of the organization. How does AI help deflect phone calls into call center? And LPL had actually been on that journey for a little bit. There was an AI system in place, not for the advisor side or the person who would normally make the phone call, but as a support mechanism for the person taking the call. Oh, I don't know the answer to that question. Let me ask the AI, get a response back. And I actually knew the CEO of this AI company before I started. And people were sharing these statistics about how great it was. Look at the number of entitled users on the service side of the tool. But then as I got closer to it, I found out in the middle of the heat of a call, they're not using it. They're going into teams, messaging people who they think have an answer to that, little groups that they've created. They've taken their own knowledge of questions they get. They've not put it in a central database. They stuck it in their own little notes on their own Microsoft Word document or into a site that they've got access to, and maybe they share it with a couple of people. Clearly not something that was scalable, not something being used in the way that it was intended. And really the main flaw there was that AI was not in the middle of the service professional's workflow. So they were normally inside one system, but if they're on the call, they'd have to get out of that, go into another one to then ask the question of this AI system. And I think that was a fundamental flaw of that process. So as you think about the adoption and usage of AI, even if the AI is pretty intelligent and pretty good, you have to take into account the user experience. Well, what's their real life like? You know, and it's hard to conceptualize unless you get on one of those calls. You then start to get a feel for, okay, I got to get an answer to this thing. I got to get my job done, right? This is the jobs to be done. We had an outside consulting firm come in. They sat in on 50 calls. The number of calls where that professional used the AI system was zero, exactly zero. They weren't using it, and it was for these reasons. So you have to be thoughtful about not just, oh, let's test the system, see what kind of answers it gives in kind of a QA test mode. It's like, no, look at the workflow, look at the real experience. And there's real impact there, and we're still chasing this. 70% of the time spent on a call is spent finding an answer for the person who called right now for us. And so that's a huge opportunity. What we're pivoting to is a system where the AI is actually going to be on the phone call, listening, recommending responses, not only in the middle of the workflow, it's just part of the system. And on top of that, be responsible for the call write-up, the summary at the end. The AI is taking care of that now. Those minutes are just getting written right off of the time frame that the person's usually doing it.